Alright, so that is a K-member. This end up here is front of the car. That one back there that's still got the rack and pinion on it is the rear. That makes this the driver's side lower control arm. Tie rod end, all that happy jazz. And there is the transmission. She's out. So, the one that is a pain in the ass is that guy right there. Because the exhaust manifold sits about there, which leaves you about, what's that, maybe 2 inches? So if you don't know what's there, know what you're looking for, you're screwed. What I was doing was I was counting bolts, and I kept coming up with 5. So I knew I was missing one, I just didn't know where the heck it was. Well, I found it. I had to take the power steering pump off, and behind the power steering pump there's a bracket that hooks onto these. It's got a little hole in it, right about here. That lines up perfect with that guy. So, pull that off, saw that hole, and went, aha! And stuck a light down in there so I could see, and I'll be doggone, there was the last one. So, I got that off. Now, the reason that this all had to happen is this guy right here. See how he's cracked all the way around? And I do mean all the way around. Now you can see right here where it's bent and broken and falling apart. The only thing that was holding it on, there's this little metal piece up here that's been riveted, and that's a real thin piece of metal. So this whole thing, and if you notice there's discoloration here, that's where it was rubbing up against the back of the engine. So there may be a little bit more to this than what I had initially thought, because that discoloration, that blue, means he got real hot. So, again, the engine's held up by support bars. Always want to put something else underneath it just in case, but let's take a look. Hold on a minute. Let me go grab a flashy light and go through my messy garage. And while I'm talking and walking, something I would like to say that one of my buddies said, because he watched that little video I put up before where I'm talking about how I'm an ASE Master Tech. Well, I am, but that doesn't necessarily mean I know what the heck I'm doing. So, try and put the light off to the side. It's a little worn and beat up. I'm going to have to get that sliver of metal off of there before it bites me. And it doesn't look like anything's leaking yet, but it's pretty well good and beat up. I'll clean it up, make sure everything's good, put this thing back together, and get it back on the road. And this lady will be happy because she can go back to church and go see all of her friends, and everything will be right in the world. And I can say I did my good deed, get a couple of bucks in my pocket for helping out somebody, but yeah, for the amount of work that this thing, it's definitely not worth it. Anyway, I guess while I'm waiting for a flywheel to show up, and another transmission. Talk to you later.